Pancit dish tonight. I'm going to show you step by step as I do it. I'm using vermicelli rice noodles. These here, you can use really any rice noodles as I understand it. So what I'm doing is, according to the instructions, I'm just soaking these noodles in hot tap water for 15 minutes to prepare them to cook the rest of the way. While the noodles are soaking, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of chicken style seasonings to the pot. I don't mind if it's a little extra. This here is what I picked up from the store this evening. I've never used it, but it looked the best of what I could find. And it calls for a 1/4 teaspoon of ground turmeric. I'm just using this powder. I don't know if there's a big difference between this and ground. I guess ground is maybe more coarse, I don't know. But this will do. And then what you're supposed to do is bring water to a boil, enough to cover the noodles, because after the noodles have soaked, I'm going to put them in here and cook them for 3 minutes. I've placed this on the stove on high to get it boiling. They don't say how much water it should take. I'm just eyeballing it based on how much water I think it will take to cook the noodles in. So we'll see if I have to add any more water, but I think it's going to be okay. While that water is boiling, this is the type tofu I am using. I like this brand better. I get it at Publix. The Greenwise brand, the Publix brand, even though it says extra firm, I find is not firm enough for my taste. So I like this one a lot better. I am just going to, I opened the package, drained the water off, and I'm just gonna squeeze the excess moisture out of this because I want it dry. And all I'm gonna do is cut it into 1-inch cubes. I'm going to measure out 2 tablespoons of oil. I'm using olive oil. That's what I generally prefer. I'm sure you can use coconut oil as long as you use the flavorless. It should be okay. I do have some flavorless coconut oil, and it doesn't make your dish taste like coconut. Now I'm doing 3 to 4 tablespoons of Bragg's liquid aminos, or you can use soy sauce, but this is an alternative if you don't want to use the soy sauce. Some people have issues with soy sauce physically, so I'm going to go ahead and put 4 because I'm pretty sure I'm going to want that. And I like to pre-measure everything and set it to the side so that I don't have to stop while I'm cooking and measure everything out. Now the timer went off. This has been soaking in hot tap water for 15 minutes. It's all, it's still firm, but it's soft. So I'm going to let this drain in the pot or finish draining in the pot while I prepare everything else. Now this is where I love the pre-cut stuff. This is calling for 3 cups of cabbage, so all I have to do, I don't have to chop it up. All I have to do is measure it out. I like a lot of cabbage, so I'm going to go ahead and put 4 cups. This is a 4-cup measure, and I put a little over, so it's about a bowlful. So the recipe calls for 3 cloves of garlic minced. Corey does not like a whole lot. These are large, so I'm just going to stick with 2. This one looks like it's a little bit dehydrated. No, it is, but it's not bad. So I will go ahead and do 2. I personally like more, but I'm not the only one eating now, am I? So we're going to just go with 2 and mince those up. So the recipe calls for 1.5 cups of julienned carrots, I have these that need to be eaten. I've had them for a while. They're shredded. So I've measured out just about 2 cups here. Because we have a little extra cabbage, it's not going to matter. And it's an easy shortcut anyway. Now they want 1.5 cups of celery also. They wanted it julienned, but I just cut them up the easiest way I could last night. So I'm sure they'll taste just the same. It won't be authentic, obviously, but I'm not Filipino, so I figure I can get away with customizing it a bit. So I'll do about what they want, 1.5 cups. So that will work. I've got to do 1.5 cups of broccoli, and I'm using the tender stem sweet baby broccoli. It's not like regular broccoli, but it's, I think, going to be perfect for this dish. So I'm just going to kind of chop it up a little bit. And since I pretty much know in this bowl what 1.5 cups is, I'm just going to fill it to what I think it should be. Next up is 5 onions. And there's 6 here, so I'm just going to use them. So here's my broccoli, here's my green onion. We'll do a 1/2 tablespoon of cornstarch. Let's see. Good old Clabber Girl. Alright, my water is boiling. Good enough for me. It's not hard boiling, but that's okay. I'm just going to dump the noodles in and give them a stir. Give them a stir. I think that was perfect amount of water. I'm going to bring it back to a boil, and to do that, because this is such a large pot, I'm going to put the lid back on, and I'm not sure if I'm going to time it now for 3 minutes or until I'll let it bubble up again first. Alright, so they want 4 cups of vegetable broth or chicken style broth, or yeah, pretty much that. So I don't have the vegetable broth, and so what I'm going to do is, I do have beef bouillon. I have chicken bouillon somewhere and I can't find it right now, and it's the oddest thing. So I'm going to go ahead and make 4 cups of beef style why can't I think of that word, broth, and go with that. Now with bouillon, you do 1 cube per 1 cup of water. So I've put 4 cups of water in here and 4 cubes. Oh, no, I thought I had 5. One of them broke apart. So I'm going to warm the water and let it dissolve, and then I will have my broth. Alright, my buzzer went off. These have cooked in the seasonings for 3 minutes. They look wonderful and well seasoned. The last thing that this recipe calls for is 1 tablespoon of either vegetarian mushroom seasoning, which I've never heard of, or beef style seasoning. So since we did the beef bouillon for the broth, I'm going to go ahead and do the 1 tablespoon of the chicken seasoning. Actually, the last ingredients is a 1 teaspoon salt, so I just put it in with the chicken seasoning. They recommend using a non-stick skillet for this, but I don't have one in order to cook the tofu. So I'm going to go ahead and use my skillet. 1 tablespoon of oil. You can reduce the amount, obviously, for health reasons if you would like. I'm going to get that warmed up and then throw the tofu in, and then they want me to put in 1 to 2 tablespoons of the soy sauce or soy sauce substitute, whichever you are going to use. I'm going to go ahead and put it in. And I'll probably go ahead and just put 2 tablespoons of amino acids. Now these are to cook on all sides and turn brown. Hopefully we can get that going here. can't do this very well with the softer tofu, so make sure you have extra firm. These are all the ingredients set out. This is my onion that I chopped up previously. All of it looks so delicious. So these are getting brown on the sides, and for time's sake tonight, as we want to go ahead and eat, I am not going to let them fully brown on all sides. What I'm going to do is add the onion and the garlic. And I'm to add the remaining tablespoon of oil to this and cook it for about 2 minutes because they just want the vegetables or the onion to get soft. So I've switched to my larger pot because eventually I've got to one by one add all of that, and all of that would not fit in that. So since this was free, I'm using it. It's been about 2 minutes. The onions have gotten softish. I am going to now add some more of the other vegetables. What they're calling for right now is to add the cabbage, carrots, and celery and cook 4 to 5 minutes. So I just realized that I was supposed to, after I cooked the tofu, set it to the side, saute all this, and then add it in, but it looks like it's holding up just fine. So, whoops. And this is about to, the timer's about to go off on this after 4 minutes, and I'm going to add the broccoli and the green onions. About 20 seconds, so I'm going to cancel that. And then go ahead and add these. It just says to cook until they're tender. Yeah, I was supposed to add these tofu chunks back at the same time that I add the noodles into the dish. While that is continuing to cook, I've put the chicken seasoning, the cornstarch, salt, and the remaining soy sauce in this mixture here, because after the vegetables get done, I'm going to pour this in there and stir it in and cook it for 3 more minutes. I put a lid on here so that the vegetables would get a little more tender, and I'll probably go ahead and take this off and add this mixture now. Noodles. So I dumped the noodles in there, and they're kind of mushed together. They didn't tell me to strain, or they told me to strain it, but not to rinse it. I'm wondering if I should have. They may have gotten a little bit too done. So I'm going to come over here, get my tongs, and mix it this way so that I don't chop up the noodles too bad. Okay, it's all mixed in. It actually looks really good. We'll see how it tastes, and I'll let you know. Now, one thing that's kind of baffled me is that they wanted the 4 cups of vegetable broth, but they didn't call for it in the recipe that I could find, so it's still sitting right there. I'm gonna have to figure this out. Figure out where I missed it. But I guess I'll be saving that for another time, because pancit is usually not a soup. So I wonder if I was supposed to add that to the boiling water, or that would be the boiling water to cook the noodles in. but that was not clear. I may have missed it, but I'm not sure. Okay, now for the taste test. My husband says it needs some salt, which I'm not surprised. So I'm just going to taste it first without it. It's really hot. Vegetables are still good and al dente, so I really like that. I'm tasting some of the other flavors, but it definitely needs more salt. I would add some more of this, so I'm just gonna try not to get too much. But the beauty of this is that I can use this for a foundation for making whatever kind of dish I want to make. The Brax made it a lot better. Thanks for joining me, guys. This is delicious. Try it out. Let me know what you think. We'll see you later.